April 19, 1995, 9:02 a.m. A quiet Wednesday morning in Oklahoma City was shattered by one of the deadliest acts of domestic terrorism in U.S. history. A massive truck bomb exploded outside the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building, killing 168 people, including 19 children, and injuring hundreds more. Today, we revisit the Oklahoma City bombing, not only the timeline and investigation, but also the ethical questions, forensic methods, and the lasting legacy this crime left on America. On the morning of April 19th, Timothy McVeigh, a decorated Gulf War veteran turned anti-government extremist, parked a Ryder rental truck in front of the Murrah Building. Inside that truck, nearly 5,000 pounds of explosives made from fertilizer, fuel, and homemade components. At exactly 9:02 a.m., the bomb detonated. The blast destroyed a third of the building instantly. The explosion could be heard miles away, and the shockwave shattered windows across downtown Oklahoma City. Rescue workers, police, and everyday citizens rushed to the scene, facing fires, collapsed concrete, and cries for help. The dead included federal employees, visitors, and children at a daycare center inside the building. It was, at the time, the deadliest terrorist attack on American soil. The investigation that followed, codenamed OKBOMB, remains one of the largest in FBI history. Forensics and detective work included bomb debris analysis. Investigators sifted through rubble to identify bomb components. Pieces of the Ryder truck's axle were recovered and traced back to its rental company. Eyewitness accounts. A rental shop worker remembered renting the truck to a man under the name Robert Kling, later identified as McVeigh. Paper trail. Investigators traced McVeigh's movements through motel receipts, weapons, purchases, and phone records. Explosives chemistry. Experts confirmed the fertilizer-based bomb design, linking it to McVeigh's militia ideology. Just 90 minutes after the bombing, McVeigh was already in custody. Not for terrorism, but for driving without a license plate and possessing an unregistered firearm. Days later, he was identified as the prime suspect. Timothy McVeigh's trial began in 1997. Prosecutors presented overwhelming evidence. Forensic debris, eyewitness testimony, rental receipts, and McVeigh's own writings expressing anti-government anger after events like the Waco siege. McVeigh was found guilty of 11 federal counts, including conspiracy to use a weapon of mass destruction and murder of federal officers. He was sentenced to death and executed by lethal injection in 2001. The first federal execution in the United States in nearly 40 years. McVeigh's accomplice, Terry Nichols, was also convicted and received life imprisonment. The Oklahoma City bombing raised critical questions. Media coverage. For weeks, Americans saw heartbreaking images of rescue workers carrying injured children, grieving families, and a destroyed building. It was a turning point for 24-hour news cycles, but it also raised concerns about the ethics of showing traumatic images. Domestic terrorism awareness. Before 9/11, most Americans associated terrorism with foreign actors. The Oklahoma City bombing revealed the threat from within extremist ideologies fueled by hatred of government, law enforcement legacy. The attack led to major reforms, including new federal building security standards and the Anti-Terrorism and Effective Death Penalty Act of 1996. Community response. Out of tragedy came resilience. Survivors, families, and volunteers built the Oklahoma City National Memorial, ensuring remembrance of the lives lost. The Oklahoma City bombing wasn't just an attack on a building, it was an attack on innocent lives, on community, and on the sense of safety in America. When we revisit this tragedy, we honor the victims, recognize the heroes who risked everything in rescue efforts, and reflect on the dangers of extremism. True crime is not just about uncovering what happened, it's about remembering, learning, and ensuring that history's hardest lessons are not forgotten.